Welcome to It's All Football. Imagine ancient civilizations where the stadium roars were replaced by the echo of stone carvings. Long before the days of neatly trimmed grass pitches and crisply painted lines, the early versions of football were a tad more unconventional. Picture the Mesoamericans who kicked around not the familiar synthetic leather ball, but objects that ranged from stuffed animal skins to, on occasion, human skulls. Imagine a player, after a particularly spirited game, commenting wryly, "Honestly, I preferred last season's model. It was less chatty." These ancient kickabouts weren't merely for entertainment. They were steeped in cultural significance, often intertwined with rituals that could determine anything from the fate of a harvest to the peace between tribes. Yes, winning was as much about divine favor as it was about skill. Now, while today's footballers might worry about passing, shooting, and possibly acting skills, their ancient counterparts had concerns of a more existential nature, like ensuring the game didn't end with their head becoming the next match's ball. So, next time your football deflates, be thankful it's not your predecessor's head. Fast forward to medieval times, where the ball was as unruly as the era. Imagine the entire village turning out, from the blacksmith to the baker, all ready for a game where the rules were, well, there were hardly any rules at all. Picture this. The goals were set miles apart, sometimes in neighboring villages. And a match? It could last from sunrise to sunset, or even stretch over several days. Now, amidst all this chaos, envision two weary players in the midst of the crowd. One shouts to the other, "I say, have you seen the ball lately?" The reply comes equally baffled, "I thought it was your turn to keep an eye on it." Such was the madness that even the players lost track of their main plaything. This sportive pandemonium wasn't just for fun. It often got so rowdy that football was banned several times. Kings and queens feared it could disrupt peace and cause social upheaval, and you thought modern derby matches were intense. As the years rolled on, so did the need for some ground rules. The 19th century saw football morph from chaotic communal clashes into a more refined, rule-bound sport. Imagine the scene, a smoky room filled with gentlemen in top hats and tails, fervently debating the future of football. One chap, red-faced and waving a crumpled piece of paper, insisted, "We must allow tripping." Meanwhile, a fellow from the back, squinting over spectacles, countered, "And what sport would that be, Sir Ankle Crunchers Anonymous?" The most contentious issue, however, was whether handling the ball should be part of the game. This led to quite the kerfuffle. One exasperated committee member, tired of the back and forth, finally burst out, "If we keep using our hands, we might as well call it handball." Laughter erupted, easing the tension momentarily. Through hours of debate, scribbled notes, and not a few raised voices, two codes emerged: rugby football and association football. Thus, with a handshake and a few disagreements, modern football was born. With rules in place, football quickly kicked off beyond borders. As football found its footing in the late 19th century, it didn't just capture hearts, it sprinted across continents. Imagine the scene: a game born in the muddy fields of England, now spreading its charm from the bustling streets of Buenos Aires to the sun-kissed beaches of Rio de Janeiro. The first international face-off took place in 1872, a historic encounter where Scotland and England battled it out in a goalless draw. This wasn't just a match, it was the beginning of a global phenomenon. In 1904, the formation of FIFA cemented football's international appeal, setting the stage for a world where different cultures embrace a common passion. But remember, early days weren't without confusion. Picture this. No, when we said football, we didn't mean you could carry it on a ship across the ocean. A little mix-up in terms, perhaps, and just like that, football claimed its place as the world's favorite sport. From ancient rituals to Sunday league matches, football has had quite the journey. This beloved sport has evolved from a chaotic village activity to the meticulously organized global phenomenon we know today. It's been a wild ride, with leather balls evolving into high-tech spheres that could probably do your math homework. Now let's take a whimsical peek into the future of football. Imagine matches played in zero gravity, where players float and flip to score goals in space stations. Or how about virtual reality matches where fans from around the world can don headsets and play alongside their favorite stars from the comfort of their living rooms? And speaking of advancements, picture this. arguing with a holographic referee who, despite being a projection, is just as stubborn as the real deal. The crowd goes wild, not just from the stands, but from living rooms, as holographic fans cheer and jeer with each play. Whatever the future holds, one thing's for certain: the game will go on, perhaps with even more bizarre balls.